Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got one straight for you, straight out of the state of Missouri. For those who follow me, you know I always preach and talk about knowing your city, your state laws, even more apparently than your federal and national laws, because most of the things that happen in your city and your state, if there is a violation of those laws, most of the time there is a violation of your city or state laws. And we should know who is in our Supreme Court, in our state Supreme Court, who our state senators are, who our aldermen and alderwomen are, who, of course, is the mayor, the governor, who is the lieutenant governor. You need to know how they legislate and how they feel and how they issue their politics. So, for example, St. Louis, the city of St. Louis, is a Democratic blue city, but the state of Missouri is a red state. And this migrant issue has been a real pinnacle at the very forefront of a lot of concerns for folks in America. There's something like 13 to 15 million illegal immigrants that have crossed our borders. That was a major issue during the presidential election. And of course, President-elect Trump is saying he's going to go close the borders and remove illegal immigrants immediately when he gets into office. Well, I got to tell you, you see what is happening in Chicago as a blue city. It's a migrant sanctuary city. The decimation is taking place in Chicago under Brandon Johnson, and of course, New York City, one of the largest cities in America, along with Chicago, under Eric Adams, it's a blue city. And look at what the migrant situation, as it is a sanctuary city, look at what the migrant situation has done to New York, along with Mayor Eric Adams getting indicted. Well, let me tell you what Missouri lawmakers, the state lawmakers, are trying to issue to not only keep illegal immigrants out of the state of Missouri, but they're also trying to legislate for people to be licensed bounty hunters and to find these people, remove them, and even give them $1,000 per illegal migrant that is captured by these bounty hunters. Yes, this is a real thing. So for Missourians, please listen to this, and this is coming straight out of Jefferson City. So let's go. Missouri lawmaker wants bounty for undocumented migrants. Missouri residents could receive a $1,000 payout if they turn in undocumented migrants to the State Highway Patrol under an initiative introduced Monday in the state Senate. So here again, this is about state laws that are right at your front door. The so-called bounty hunter proposal, sponsored by Senate-elect David Gregory, who's a Republican out of Sunset Hills, is among at least 7 GOP-led bills introduced in the House and Senate this week, focusing on what has been a key issue for President-elect Trump. Remember, I said President-elect Trump is going to go after this illegal migrant situation immediately. While the other immigration-related measures introduced in the first days of the legislature's early bill filing period are similar to proposals floated in previous years. Gregory's bounty plan will create an online portal for people to make reports about alleged undocumented individuals in their communities. Any person who makes a report in which an illegal alien is arrested shall receive a reward of $1,000, a summary of the legislation notes. In addition, Gregory's plan calls for the Department of Public Safety to develop the Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program, which would certify applicants to be bounty hunters for the purpose of finding and detaining undocumented immigrants in the state. Now, how they're going to do that? How are you going to be an average citizen, not a police officer? You go through this program to become a bounty hunter, and you're going to detain them. Are you going to detain them with a weapon? Are you going to put them in handcuffs? There are some gray areas, and people's lives could potentially be at stake under this bounty hunter program. Any person with a license as a bail bond agent would be eligible to apply for the program. The measure also would declare that an undocumented immigrant who knowingly entered Missouri and is physically present in the state when apprehended by a licensed bounty hunter or peace officer would be guilty of the offense of trespass by an illegal alien. That would bar them from receiving any public benefits or social service programs, voting in any election, receiving a permit or license to drive, or even becoming a legal resident of Missouri. Gregory, a 39-year-old attorney, did not respond to a request for comment. The proposal comes amid questions over whether there is a role for the state to address immigration. In 2012, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down parts of an Arizona law that created state-level offenses for illegal immigration. And President Joe Biden's administration is currently challenging a Texas law allowing the arrest and attempted removal of individuals crossing the southern border illegally. So you're seeing Missouri's trying to enact this state of capturing illegal immigrants. The state of Texas also is trying to have that same kind of bounty hunter arrest and immigration policy, and also Arizona. And what happens, how federal laws are created, they'll start in one state, two states, and if they get passed, then they try to take it to the federal legislature to make it a federal law. So just watch how the temperament of each state is doing this, and they're trying to create this bounty hunter law to capture illegal immigrants. Trump has promised a major crackdown on immigration in his first day of office. He said, "I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered, and we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail and then kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible," Trump said in an October campaign event. It remains unclear how the government would actually deport the nearly 11 million people who are believed to be in the United States illegally. The Pew Research Center estimates that 70,000 undocumented immigrants live in Missouri, 70,000, representing about 1.1% of the state population. While immigration supporters say undocumented workers play a role in the state's agricultural economy, that means cheap labor, Republicans have said the nation's borders are allowing the spread of deadly drugs. Earlier this year, Governor Mike Parson signed off on a $2.2 million fund for deployment of Missouri National Guard soldiers and Highway Patrol troopers to bolster Operation Lone Star, an effort by Texas to police U.S.-Mexican borders. Parton made this announcement during a trip to Texas, which has become a go-to destination for Republicans seeking to make immigration an issue. Senator Jill Carter, Republican grandee, is among the latest state lawmakers to head south. On Monday, she introduced a measure that would allow the governor to establish an interstate compact designed to secure the nation's southern border. Carter's proposal also would create a new offense of improper entry by an alien, punishable by a fine of $10,000 and up to 7 years in prison and removal to a federal port of entry. In the House, Representative Jim Murphy, a South St. Louis County Republican, also visited the border earlier this year. He introduced legislation this week that will require businesses to ensure all of their employees are properly documented. Senator Rick Branton, Republican of Harrisonville, introduced a package of immigration-related legislation that includes levying $25,000 per day fines against cities that adopt immigration sanctuary policies. That bounty legislation is Senate Bill 72. Now, during this whole sanctuary migrant issue in Chicago and in New York and in Denver, Colorado, there was a point where they did ask the St. Louis mayor, Tashara Jones, if she would make St. Louis City a sanctuary city, and she said she would welcome that. I think that would be a huge mistake. Look at what the decimation has happened in two of our largest cities in America, in Chicago under the leadership of Brandon Johnson, and of course in New York City under the leadership of Eric Adams. I don't think it's ironic, and I definitely think it's by design, where the government is asking blue cities and black mayors to allow their cities to be sanctuary cities. So blue cities, Democrat, African American mayors, male or female, even though the mayor of Denver is white, but he's Democrat. I think it's very interesting. They're not asking red cities or Republican cities to become sanctuary cities, because most Republicans would say absolutely not. I think Mayor Tashara Jones would be making a huge mistake if they decided to make St. Louis a sanctuary city. We already have too much homelessness. The opioid crisis is unbearable. Gun violence is at a premium. Public safety is at a premium. And all we would be doing by making St. Louis a sanctuary city is pouring fuel on a brush fire that's slowly simmering and burning anyway. This is very eye-opening for my viewers and listeners. I think that you should pay attention to your city and state laws. And it sounds like the state of Missouri is saying absolutely not. We do not want all these undocumented individuals here, and they're trying to set up a bounty program. I think that is bordering the lines of safe. There's a safety issue where you're going to have individuals that are going to be licensed to be bounty hunters. There's going to be issues with guns. How do they detain these people until the appropriate highway patrol or the police get to these people? I think that you will end up seeing some individuals getting killed based on a situation like that. If that's not a police officer, how do you let a illegal immigrant know that you're a bounty hunter? Does that illegal immigrant even speak English? There's a language barrier, and this could turn into a complete mess. I'm not so sure that I would be in favor of this so-called bounty hunter program, where bail bondsmen and other individuals outside of the police or the highway patrol would be detaining these migrants. I think that you could be dealing with a level of racism. You could be dealing with a level of rush to judgment, and there could be mistakes that could be made in this kind of situation. So tell me what you think. The Missouri legislature and lawmakers are trying to push this bounty hunter program where other individuals outside of the police and the highway patrol can detain immigrants until they're arrested. And you're getting into a very, very fine line between one's safety for the immigrants, let alone for these so-called bounty hunters that they're trying to establish in the state of Missouri. We have to pay attention to our state laws. They affect us each and every day, way more than our federal laws. Tell me what you think about this Missouri lawmaker who wants to put a bounty on for undocumented migrants in Missouri. There's over 70,000 illegal migrants in Missouri, according to data research. And Missouri is trying to get on top of this right away. The migrant issue is going to be a real story for a while. There are like 13 to 15 million illegal migrants in our country, and we are going to have to try to solve this problem that we created here immediately. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.